What's up, ghosts, and welcome to my review of Halo Combat Evolved. Now before we start, I am a little sick, so if I sound, kind of stuffy or nerd emoji, then my bad. Just don't tell me in the comments because I already know. Now Halo is one of my favorite game franchises ever, and I'm really excited to be reviewing it, but I'm not going to be dick riding the game the whole time. Like everything in life, these games are not perfect, but they are pretty amazing. So talking about Halo CE, it came out in 2001, which is pretty damn crazy to me. That's over 20 years ago, and it was definitely revolutionary for its time. Also, quick note before we start, I'm going to be playing them in release order, and I'm not going to be playing any spin-off modes or games. So Halo Wars and Spartan Ops, get the fuck out of here. But how does the campaign hold up today? Let's find out. This mission starts off with a ship called the Spank Tank. Nah, it's actually called the Pillar of Autumn, and it's heading towards that spherical circle in the middle of space. I wonder what that is. Then this guy starts talking, saying, "All I need to know is did we lose them?" Hinting at them being chased. This guy is named Captain Keyes, and it looks like some enemies are already there, told to us by this blue bitch named Cortana. Then these motherfuckers start running around and shit like Goofy, and you go through a cutscene where it's showing all of the cool high-tech shit. Then you get introduced to the fucking guy, Sergeant Goddamn Johnson, who's just the best Marine in the galaxy.
And then we are going to strangle them with their own living guts.
Now you get introduced to the man, the myth, the legend, John Halo. Nah, it's Master Chief, and he's the main character. You follow this guy and... there you go, Shino. Now you have to navigate to the bridge to meet Captain Keyes, and this is when you see your first look at the Covenant. They're a bunch of alien species looking to kill the humans for some reason. Don't know why. You look at all the carnage and follow this dude to the cockpit. You talk to Captain Keyes, and Chief is already rizzing up Cortana.
Sleep well?
No thanks to your driving, yes.
So you did miss me.
Y'all could say I got W-Riz.
The Covenant is boarding, so Keyes wants to land on the big spherical object and tells Chief to protect Cortana with his life. You grab her and Keyes gives you a pistol, but it's not loaded for some reason. Well, it's loaded now. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I'll be using the remastered graphics for this game as well as Halo 2 because they just look better. So now it's your first taste of combat. You got these little fuckers named Grunts who aren't much of a threat. You got these big fuckers called Elites, and they also got different ranks too. The rest of this mission is basically just running around and killing aliens. Hold up, music break. You then have to move through these vent shafts, and it's just dark as fuck, and I don't know what the flashlight button is yet. There's also a problem with the grenades in this game. Whenever you throw a nade, any nades on the floor also blow up from your grenade, and there's a shit ton of nades on the floor since Grunts drop 2 every time you kill them, so that's really fun. The ship starts blowing up, so you have to make it to an escape pod, and this part is where I'm dumb as fuck and wander around for a minute, but eventually I find the right pod, throw this fucker in, and we're off. Everyone straps in and Chief just stands there like a beast. You see the Pillar of Autumn landing, and you crash land also. Then the mission ends. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It introduces you to the combat loop, which gets you set in the universe of Halo. The complaints I have, it's a bit too repetitive, and there's no like waypoint telling you where to go, which in this case is bad, but it's still pretty good opening mission.
Chief? Chief, can you hear me? At last. Are you alright? Can you move?
Now this is when the real game starts. Since you crash landed, all the Marines are dead. And actually, there's a fun fact. The devs actually wanted the Marines to be alive, but they just kept running off this bridge here, so they just killed them all. Now your only objective is to find more of our troops, so you start moving. You can see how much effort they actually put into this remastered with the graphics. You slaughter some Covenant and keep moving. You find some Marines and save them. Among the Marines is the GOAT Sergeant Johnson. More Covenant show up and you handle that shit. You also meet the new enemy called Jackals, and they're just like the worst fuckers ever to exist with their dumbass shields. Eventually you see more lifeboats, and the Pelican named Foehammer drops a Warthog so you can go save more Marines. You see this cave and Cortana says,
"This cave is not a natural formation."
"Oh, really? What makes you say that?" You reach this big ass room and have to get out and activate this light bridge. Fucking easy mode. You exit the cave and have 3 different paths you can take, which each lead to more Marines. And the Marine on the turret actually puts in work, so that's pretty cool. He's not completely useless. Foehammer picks up these dudes and you move on. You reach the second area and it's more the same, just clear the area. Pretty much the same thing happens. Foehammer picks up the Marines and you go to the last area. But Cortana gets a report that the Covenant captured the Pillar of Autumn and taken all the crew, which includes Captain Keyes. Same thing, kill all the aliens, save the passengers, whatever. While Foehammer comes to pick everyone up, Cortana locates Captain Keyes and says he's being held on a Covenant carrier named Truth and Reconciliation. You get on Foehammer and the mission ends. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It really opens up and lets you do whatever you want, but unfortunately you only do the same thing 3 times. But it's still pretty good.
The enemy has captured Captain Keyes and are holding him aboard one of their cruisers, the Truth and Reconciliation. The ship is currently holding position approximately 300 meters above the other end of this plateau.
Yo, I'm gonna say something real quick. fuck this mission. I actually hate it, but it's not all bad. The first bit isn't that bad since you have to make your way through these cliffs to get to the ship. So you fight along the Marines till you reach this gravity lift, and this is when it starts getting dog shit. You have to fight waves of enemies with no health packs or anything. No support from the Marines either, because they all just die. And if you die, you have to go back to the start of the level, basically. It's really frustrating because the motherfuckers just keep coming and coming and they don't fucking stop. Then you get introduced to these aliens called hunters. They got fuel rod cannons and armor, so you can only hurt them if you shoot them in the back. Luckily, the sniper takes them out in one hit, so that's sick. You get sucked up into the ship and wait for Cortana to unlock one of the doors when invisible elites come in and just shit on me. Honestly, they're much more visible in the OG graphics, so you can kind of cheese it that way. So you have to look for Captain Keyes, and you're basically walking through the same looking hallways for a long ass time. You eventually find a shuttle bay and Foehammer drops some more Marines. Then it's back to more hallways that look the same. After like half an hour of walking through the ship, you finally find Captain Keyes and the other Marines, and Cortana gets reports that Halo is actually a weapon, and the Covenant is looking for the control room, so you have to try to beat them there. Now, once you're done talking, guess what you have to do? Go back into the hallways and backtrack to the hangar bay. Yes sirree, W. Like, there's legit no sense of direction in these halls. You just gotta pick a direction and hope you're going the right way. And also, there's these doors that are green, so you go in there and it's just a fucking empty room. Nice. Anyways, once you reach the hangar bay, you grab an enemy carrier, and Keyes does something funny to these hunters, and the mission ends. I'll give this piece of shit a 4 out of 10, and if it wasn't for that beginning part on the cliff, this shit would have been a 0 out of 10. This mission is way better than the last one. You're landing at this island which has something called the Silent Cartographer, which is basically just a map room for the Halo, which you need in order to locate the control room. You land on the beach like D-Day and damn, that music starts playing. You shit on all the Covenant on the beach and get another Warthog. You drive for a bit and find this facility, and I just drive in there. I lose all my Marines and die, so that wasn't a great idea. So you know how to double it. Anyways, you get inside the base, and this motherfucker locked the door, and apparently Chief can't just bust through the door, even though he's like superhuman. So you have to go look for the keys, which is on the other side of the island. You kill more Covenant and see 2 more hunters, but this time I don't have my sniper. What am I gonna do? Turns out their AI is very exploitable. Anyways, you can just trap them in a constant animation of them trying to hit you, so you can just shit on them. You kill more Covenant and head into the base that has 2 more goddamn hunters in it. After you shit on them, you find a terminal and open the door, and this dude comes out all Scooby-Doo-like. On your way back, some invisible elites scare the shit out of me. Then I jump off the tower. This crashed Pelican has a Warthog and a rocket launcher, so W. You head back to that door and head inside. A cutscene plays where Chief has the swaggiest walk I've ever seen. I don't know why that needed to be a cutscene, but okay. Of course, there's Covenant inside, so you have to fight through the base, fighting hella enemies, including more hunters that the Spanker just shits on. Eventually, you find the map, and Cortana gets the location of the control room. She tries telling the captain, but he's not answering. You now have to backtrack through the building, which is always just really fun. You start to leave, and this happens to me. What the fuck? Anyways, you get out and hop on Foehammer and the mission ends. I'll give it a 9 out of 10, definitely one of the best missions in the game, and without that backtracking section, it probably would have gotten a 10 out of 10. This mission starts off cool enough, and it's pretty funny seeing the grunt run away, but Jesus. This mission sucks. Okay, your objective is to assault the control room. Simple. But it's actually not. You walk into this first room and clear the Covenant inside, and then you head outside onto this bridge. Okay, nice, it's snowing. After crossing it, you walk into this room. Oh, wait. Looks identical to the first room. You can already see what kind of mission this is gonna be. You head down this hall and down this elevator. Once at the bottom, you walk into pretty much another identical room and kill more Covenant. You make it outside and have to traverse this open terrain. Luckily, you get a Warthog, because that'd be pretty cancer if you had to walk all that way. You also get 2 Marines, but one of mine gets shit on by the Wraith. All I gotta say is, I like the older graphics way better in the snowy area. I don't know what it is. You move up and see a tank, and like 5 Marines can get in it, so that's pretty sick. You head down through this cave, and the tank is slow as fuck, by the way. So it's impossible to dodge the Wraith shots, so you kind of just have to tank it. See what I did there? You head down in this underground thing and have to hop out to open the door, which is annoying. You reach this indoor bridge and just shit on motherfuckers. Back on the snowy area, you still just have to keep moving in the tank. Pretty boring. Eventually, you have to get out of the tank and walk your slow ass to this weird area. You enter it, and Jesus, it's the same room again. Like, I get the technical limitations of the time, but Come on, bro. That's like the 4th identical room. And this one, you even use an elevator just like the last one. And guess where that elevator leads? Another identical room. You head outside and cross onto another bridge. After going through like 5 more of those rooms, you get outside and have to climb this weird pyramid thingy. You can use a ghost here, so that's cool, but I get shit on by a banshee. Once you jam your way up in the ghost, you have to open this door and get a cutscene with Chief's swaggy walk. This is the control room, so Chief puts Cortana in the computer and she talks about something called Forerunner, who built the ring. But Cortana says that the Covenant found something buried in the ring that's not good, and Keyes is heading there right now, so you have to stop him. Then the mission ends with Chief running pretty funny. I'll give this one a 5 out of 10. Those rooms are so fucking annoying, but the big open area was actually pretty fun. This mission starts with the Covenant fleeing from something, so that's kind of sus. But goddamn, look at this amazing swamp. I mean, even in the OG graphics, it's still pretty impressive. You find a downed pelican playing a distress signal, but you keep moving. You see a downed Covenant carrier, and something fishy is going on here.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here.
You keep moving until you see friendly forces shooting at some Covenant, so you head into the tunnel and head down the longest elevator of all time. You reach the bottom and kill more Covenant. Then you see a jackal that's been eviscerated or something. You walk through the halls until you reach this Marine and he's just lost it.
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things!
Boom! Headshot! I mean, just listen to the atmosphere in this building. You eventually open this door and a dead Marine pops out. You grab another Marine's video recording and play it. You then get to see what led up to all the dead Marines, and this shit ain't even in 4K. What is this shit? You see them come across a dead elite, but the game glitches and doesn't show it for some reason. Just pretend there's a dead elite there. They open this door and a bunch of things just start busting in and getting all over them. Then the recording ends. Back in the game, Chief gets attacked by those same creatures and there's a fuck ton of them. Thankfully they die in 1 bullet, so these little ones are easy to take out. Then they start to infect the dead bodies in the room, elite or Marine, and it basically becomes Left 4 Dead now. You then have to backtrack through the whole area again, which kinda sucks while fighting these infected things. And one cool thing I noticed is that in the OG graphics they just look like zombies, but in the remastered they actually have the body of an elite or Marine, like their body has been taken over. You then get to use a shotgun, which is just god tier in my opinion, best weapon in the game. You make it up the elevator and meet some Marines. You then have to extract with them, and they're all dead. Nice. You head into this tower and see this floating thing. Then he teleports you up and tells you his name.
I am 343 Guilty Spark.
He's kind of like the keeper of the Halo. He teleports you again and the mission ends. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I'm not a fan of backtracking, like I've said multiple times in this video, but this is probably the scariest mission in all of Halo. This mission is, it's definitely a mission. This one's gonna be quick, so just thank me later. Guilty Spark teleports you to this place called the library to grab something called the index, and you need that index to activate the Halo and kill the Flood, which are those creatures. And then you see some new types of Flood, like these fat fucks that suicide bomb you and spawn little ones.
What kind of place is this?
Oh, and the Flood can carry weapons too. Any weapon, including rocket launchers. This whole mission is just walking, killing the Flood, and waiting for Guilty Spark to open doors. It's really bad. Sometimes you'll ride an elevator, but that's about it. I don't know if they ran out of time or something, because it's just the same room over and over and over and over and over again. Even the game knows it's dog shit. Look at that. Okay, let's play a little game here. I'm going to show you 4 different clips, okay? Here's the first one. Okay, the second one. The third one. And the fourth one. Now you're like, oh, KFC, those are all the same room, right? Wrong. Those are 4 different floors of this mission. Why did they do this? I don't know. Maybe as a form of torture, but I can't emphasize how bad this mission sucks. Just please go play it for yourself if you haven't already. It's just awful. Eventually you make it to the index, and now you have to backtrack through. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine Chief grabs the index and Guilty Spark snatches that shit away from you. Then you teleport again and the mission ends. I gotta give it a 1 out of 10. There's just not a single good feature of this mission. I'm sorry if that triggers some of you, but you know, it's just my opinion, so suck it.
Which means that any organism with sufficient mass and cognitive capability is a potential vector.
You arrive back at the control room and Chief Swaggy walks to the panel and is about to activate the Halo until... Apparently Guilty Spark was about to make us activate the ring, and what does the Halo ring do?
Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life.
Now Guilty Spark sends some sentinels after you. Hold up, music break.
We can't can't let the monitor.
And now your sole objective is to destroy the Halo ring. Now you have to disable 3 generators in these mountains, and remember that snowy mission from earlier with the identical rooms? Yeah, you'll be doing that shit again, but at least you get to fly a Banshee, so that's cool. To destroy the generators, all you have to do is punch it, nothing special. Other than destroying those 3 generators, it's pretty much identical to the other mission. You go through the same rooms and everything, just backwards. So yeah, just a giant backtracking mission. After you destroy the final generator, you have to go find Captain Keyes, who Cortana found earlier in the level. Fortunately, Cortana learned how to teleport you, like the monitor, and does it, but you can only do it once. It's just the assault on the control room mission with Flood in it.
So I'll just give it 1 less than that mission, which is 4 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, I love this game, but these 3 missions are just horrible.
The Covenant network is absolute chaos. From what I've been able to piece together, their leadership ordered all ships to abandon Halo when they found the Flood, but they were too late.
Your objective is to rescue Captain Keyes because you need him to activate the Pillar of Autumn's self-destruct feature. Some funny comedy happens. And Keyes tries to contact you, telling you to leave him. You walk through these hallways until you reach a giant hole. You jump into the goo or whatever this is and start fighting the Covenant and the Flood at the same time. And you know the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Well, that shit doesn't apply here because they both want to kill your ass. This part is pretty cool because you're moving through these caverns and honestly, you don't even have to fight. You can just let them kill each other, so that's pretty cool. Eventually, you reach the gravity lift and get on board the ship. And yes, it's exactly like that other mission, except with Flood. But this time, you actually have a waypoint, so that's good. After fighting through the halls for a while and dying to bullshit a lot, you reach Captain Keyes and he's become some kind of Flood brain, I don't even know. Then Master Chief does what he has to. Now that you have his neural chip, you have to get to the Pillar of Autumn. But let me just get fucked right here real quick, like holy shit. You reach the shuttle bay and dip on a Banshee, then the mission ends. I enjoyed that mission, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I hate those hallways, but there weren't as many paths that lead you nowhere. Rest in peace, my boy, Captain Keyes, though. This is the final mission in the game, and unfortunately, Master Chief and Cortana don't make it and die right there. Oh, never mind. They're chilling. Now you're back to where it all started, and finally, after playing for like 4 hours, I find the flashlight button. It's 4, by the way. Who the fuck makes flashlight 4? You need to get to the bridge, and of course, there's hella Flood and Covenant on board. After fighting through the halls for a while, you reach the bridge.
I leave home for a few days, and look what happens.
Do you see me fucking laughing, my nigga? I ain't fucking laughing.
So now you got 15 minutes till self-destruction, except bitch-ass Guilty Spark stops the countdown, and there's no way to start it back up again. So now you have to go to the engine room and blow up shit until the ship explodes. So you destroy all the Sentinels here and make your way to engineering. And another dance break. I'm sorry, man, this soundtrack is just way too fucking good. On the way to the engine room, you actually pass the cryo room where you woke up, and there's supposed to be another Spartan with you named Linda, who was in a certain game that I won't mention here. So you get to the engine room, and there's 4 things you need to blow up. It's pretty simple. You hit the button, the thing opens, you chuck a nade, and just repeat that 4 times. That's it. Now that you blew the engine, it's time to GTFO. You contact Fohammer for evac and take the elevator up. You grab a Warthog and have to do the first Warthog run. You have 5 minutes and need to haul ass. Unfortunately, I am complete dog shit at driving in Halo games, so I just crashed into legit everything. You reach the evac point and oh shit, there's Fohammer.
Echo 419! She's gone.
Yo, rest in peace, Fohammer, the faceless, goated Pelican pilot. Cortana finds a dock ship still intact, so now you have to speed your ass over in 3 minutes. And then that music starts playing. You then make this dope-ass jump where it kind of fakes you out by making you think you miss a platform, but you didn't. You reach the ship and sprint your ass over to it. Chief hops in the pilot seat and dips. Then you get a sick explosion. Well, I'd say that's pretty much destroyed. Chief asks if anyone else made it, but Cortana says no. But that's not entirely true, as you'll find out next game. Then the game ends with Chief saying,
Halo, it's finished.
No, I think we're just getting started.
I'll give this mission an 8 out of 10. Not too happy about the reused level, but it is what it is. And the Warthog run is amazing. Well, that's Halo Combat Evolved, coming out in 2001. It really did evolve the FPS genre. No, but this game is actually great, and definitely a must-play if you haven't. So go get a PC or Xbox and get Game Pass and download this game. It's great. It does, however, show its age in a lot of areas, like the repeated levels, but it's hard to fault them for that, considering the time. Bungie definitely made a classic with this game, and fun fact, this was supposed to be an RTS game, but that quickly got scrapped. Then it was supposed to be a third-person shooter until finally settling on the first-person perspective. I'll give this campaign a solid 7 out of 10. I think it's great, but those 3 missions just really grind my gears, and it's hard to look past those for me. Now let's talk about the multiplayer. It has multiplayer, yeah. Now let's just take it back to 2001. There is no online matchmaking, there is no high-speed internet, there's just you, 3 friends, all sitting in your living room playing Halo split screen. And that is something that is lost nowadays, since everything is online and no need to get together with your friends to play something. But the multiplayer is basic as hell. You got pretty much one mode, which is Slayer, where everyone kills everyone. Now back then it was probably amazing just staying up all night with your friends, but now it's one I don't even click when I play MCC. So there's my review of Halo 1. Like the video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment with your thoughts on the game, and of course subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.